All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. What a crazy 24 hours for NVOS. All right, I think this video is going to have a good amount, especially if you're going to watch the NVOS one. It's going to have a good amount of knowledge center moments in it. Okay, very, very often you hear me say, don't let after hours fool you. Very, very often I say you will get your hand stuck in the cookie jar during after hours noise. All right. The after hours noise on yesterday's NVOS $1 billion funding, like it was hard for me to control my emotions. All right. And look, I rarely say go back and watch an old video of mine, but I think there's a lot of value in watching yesterday. Look, nothing I do is scripted. Nothing I do is edited. I don't go pre-look at the charts so that I can look smarter and impress you all. That's not what this is about. This is just real, honest, and raw opinions. And man, it did not get more raw. I'm not sure which one it was, but yeah, it was hard to watch it go from the low 30s into the mid 30s, into the high 30s, into the 40s, into the low 40s, into the mid 40s. I never stopped recording. I never hit pause to go buy some and come back, right? It was really, really hard, but that is what keeping your emotions in check is about. And again, go watch the videos. I had the moments of FOMO. I'm not pretending I didn't. I kept seeing, okay, this right here is the bid and the ask. I kept seeing this thing just go up and up and up and up and up, and it was crazy. It was crazy. All right. That said, there are rules that generally shouldn't be broken. Some rules, hey, it's cool to break, believe me. And yeah, sometimes after hours keeps going. I'm not talking about absolutes here, right? With TTOO, it's interesting because TTOO, in my sincere opinion, I think it was just a follow the movement with NVOS's after hours. But TTOO actually candle-wise did a little better. I wish it closed a lot stronger than it did. But TTOO made a more impressive move today than NVOS did, all right? And I'll talk about all that and more shortly, but what are we going to do today? Same thing we always do, right? We're going to take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines, as well as these diagonal trend lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you do, I swear, it helps me so much with these YouTube algorithms, especially if you can share the video. I'm really not that good at it, all right? But I appreciate you being here, you giving me your time, and yeah, let's get into it, all right? So, look, NVOS, okay? Before I talk about what happened today, before I talk about this 47% in my opinions about that, we have to talk about after hours, all right? And I wish the system let me look at after hours a little more. But again, it's kind of what I said in the beginning video. I rarely to almost never ask you guys to go back and watch a video if you didn't. You should watch yesterday's NVOS portion, all right? I saw everything live. All my emotions were so raw. I had the moments of FOMO. I saw the 1 billion news live. I literally went to my phone and read it live. And, I'm seeing the numbers climb and climb, but I never made a silly buy, okay? And a lot of the reason of that just sincerely is twofold, all right? There's 2 pieces of reason why. Number 1, okay? After hours really is a completely different beast. All right. The volume levels are different. The ability to put a stop loss does not exist. You cannot put a stop loss in after hours in pre-market. And I'm telling you, that's a scary thing, because if things fall and you don't have your auto eject button on, you're falling with everyone. You know what I mean? So your ability to put a better stop loss than the rest goes out the window. Okay, and that for me, that's actually a big, like, there are different rules in after hours. That's a summation of the first thing. The second thing really is this. Listen, okay, I talked about on the last video, I talked about, dude, maybe we're gonna actually fill the gap. Maybe we are actually gonna come to this $1. Maybe. All right, nothing's gonna happen until 55 breaks. And if we simply waited for 55 to break and go to 1, that's still a 50% move. Like, there was still so much that, yeah, I was actually willing to avoid. And I never do it. I rarely wake up in the morning. I live on the West Coast, right? The morning market starts at 6:30 a.m. for me. All right. I like to sleep. I do. I like money to move while I sleep, and hopefully it's moving in the right direction, right? But I woke up at 6, set a snooze for 6:15. I was in front of my computer by 6:20, and I was ready to watch. If it was going to go up, I was going to go up with it. But I could tell almost right away it just wasn't. And obviously it kept going down, kept going down. I don't know why I was zoomed out so much right there. Sorry about that. But a lot of the second reason why I didn't buy after hours was simply I don't need to buy right away. You've heard me say so many times, let's ignore this and buy it up here. Right? Like that holds true, really. I don't need the bottom to win. You know, and if you can start to believe that a little bit, oh man, some crazy things will happen. All right. Let's get into what happens today. All right. What happens today, and again, this really doesn't tell the whole story because such crazy wildness happened in the after hour. And even if I go to the after hours, again, it's just it's a thing with the system. Even if I go into the 1 minute, I can see the after hours right now. But for whatever reason, I can't see this after hours. All I see is 4 p.m. market closes. All of a sudden, it's now open at 6:30, right? Or whatever it is. 9:30 my time, right? Because I'm on the West Coast. But, yeah, it's just, it was crazy. It was. Yeah, no. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to see if I can actually see the after hours, and I for sure can. I knew I couldn't. I wasted some time there. Sorry. So what happens today? By the time it starts falling a lot in pre-market, we actually open at 34 cents. All right. From there, we actually do go all the way as low as that 27, right? But we end up closing right here at 30. More people, and believe me, I know people were buying in the 40s, right? Like a drop from the 40s to the 30s is a quick 25% loss, right? Like you only have 4 dimes. If you get rid of 1 dime, you've just lost 25%, right? So, yeah, it's hard. It is. Trust me, right? But what I really don't like is we actually closed under the 20 moving average. All right. This says 30 cents. The thing I move my money on actually says 29.8. Sorry, there was a car alarm that went off on a loud motorcycle. Hopefully that wasn't too annoying. This actually closed in the 29-cent realm, and this is, you can see, physically under the orange line right here, right? So I was really hoping for a close at 32, let alone over the 20 moving out. Right, in all honesty, right now, I can't tell if I should be excited or not for Monday. Okay, if this closed a little more true doji, like if it was something like this, hey, it would have been a completely different mindset going into what do I think is going to happen on Monday. All right. I actually saw no reason to buy today, and that includes when I saw it hit my 27 number. I didn't make a buy at 27. I will be really honest with everyone here. Will I regret that? Maybe. Hey, maybe I will, but I couldn't. Regular hour confirmation just really dictates what I do, and I still don't believe it yet. I don't, and I'll get to it shortly. I bit the apple on TTOO, quickly hit eject, and I didn't regret it. Again, I don't know if I'm playing a little FOMO, my hand got burned from that, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't even buy as low as I thought it was going to go and then still watch it go to 23 or lower, right? And again, I'm not here saying it's going to go to 23. I legitimately am making this video more about the after hours fool out, all right? My immediate thoughts for what Monday might do, look, at this point, and again, I know it's only one candle, all right? Since we didn't close over the 20, I'm not sure if this means we're coming down here to 25. All right. The other way it could go, where are you at? No, that's too low. Where are you at? That's too low. 32 is the number. So what I see for Monday is either a close at 32 cents or a drop. Okay, this is probably going to go up still. It's probably going to come to like right here, or a drop to 27. I think those are the numbers tomorrow. We either see a 10% drop, we're either going to lose 3 cents, or we'll go up a little less than 10% and come to 32. Okay? Obviously, after hours right now is at 29 cents. Again, you know I don't care about 29. I'm more than anything wondering if something crazy is going to happen after. But yeah, it is one disappointing that the candle closed a little worse than I expected it, because like I said, most of the day it was holding. If I just go to the 15-minute on the regular hour, you can see it. Most of the day was holding the 32 cent. It really slips right there, all right? From there, like I said, losing the 20 means a lot to me. It does, actually. And I think, to me, that means we're dropping to the 8. I do. I do, all right? I don't know if people have any more new or different opinions about the news. You know me, I don't care about the news. I care about what the lines tell me to care about the news. And yeah, I think taking the 20, and look, it definitely gapped over the 8, right? Someone on the Discord earlier today was like, look, we're still pushing nearly a 50-60%. It's not the 100, 115, 120 a lot of people were expecting, but the news did raise this, you know, almost 50%. Yeah, it did, but it should have done more. And the fact that it didn't, I think, is leading me to believe this little moment might be forgotten come next week, all right? The last thing I want to say, there is a potential for a government shutdown in the U.S., okay? We will know by the, damn, we were talking about it, by the end of the day on the damn, is that right? Okay, give me a second. Let me pause this real quick. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. So look, we will know by Sunday Eastern morning, okay? The money runs out at the end of the month. The month ends on the 30th. If we go a minute over and into this, we are now in Sunday and there is a shutdown, all right? So listen, the shutdown, I think, is greater than most stocks if it happens, okay? And that alone needs to add a little extra caution to everything, all right? I went a little longer than I thought I was going to on NVOS. Let me know your thoughts and opinions as well, but the after hours noise and the follow through and what happened today is this thing was pushing 100% and closed something. A lot of people lost about 50% of what they put in if they bought it at the wrong time at the peak of the after hours. You know what I mean? So just a lot is not said on this chart that we know the truth of. All right, so be careful. I guess I'll look at the weekly. Weekly ain't too bad. It at least still maintained this trend line, which is interesting. It's interesting. 32 cents on Monday. I think 32 cents on Monday is the big confirmation from looking at that. All right. TTOO. Let's come into TTOO. All right. And it's funny because yesterday's video, I started with TTOO, and TTOO did not start making the after hours movement until well after I finished. All right. So it's, you know, I was talking about a stock that was down here. This thing started to do some silly things after hours, but you know, truth be told, it wasn't as silly as NVOS. Now, again, the news wasn't there to necessarily drive it, but I think the fact that, like, yeah, it wasn't too silly might have also helped, okay? The one thing that I gotta say, even before I talk about the moving averages, the candle itself is a better candle because the candle opens down here at 20 cents and goes all the way up to 22. More people actually made at least 10% today. Then they potentially lost some silly money like we obviously saw on and discussed on NVOS, right? So in some ways, the candle itself is actually saying, hey, TTOO held the after hours news better, okay? If you really want to know the truth, and I said it on the Discord actually, 23 cents was my number for TTOO today. I'm pretty sure that should be an easy find, 0.23. Okay. TTOO breaking 2.3 might get me in hoping for a run up to the 28, right? Like that's what I was looking for. And you can see how I am never awake that early. I like to sleep. I woke up getting ready for NVOS and TTOO. Like I was ready to bring an 18 wheeler if they told me to. Neither of them really did. You know what I mean? But for me, I wanted to get over the 8 moving average as well as the 100 moving average. All right, I really did. I think the fact that it got over the 100 moving average, I would say good enough, I think is a reason to be like a little optimistic. All right, you know the rule is get over the 8 and the 20. The bare bone rule is get over the 8, right? So I am glad we've at least stopped losing all 5 and dying. Okay, that's a good one. We are no longer under all 5. That's a fact that we can't take away today. All right. Hopefully we can maybe regain the 8, and hopefully that gives us a reason to go up to the 20. Now again, Monday this line's going to move more than likely here, so I think that 28 target that I was just talking about from today might probably come down to what is it called, 27 right here. The one also truth though is I think that this 8 might come down a little bit or might even go flat. I think 23 is still the number. Like there's again, set your criteria for entry high. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? So I think 23 cents is the number here. Again, what I really like one last time is this opens down here and goes up there. That alone tells me that the after hours was absorbed a little bit better here. I'm glad we retook the line. Where are we on the weekly? Oh, okay. All right. Hey, look, I mean, there were minutes where it looked like we were going to go well below the 20 moving average. That would have put us below all 5 on the weekly and below all 5 in the daily. I do remember discussing that yesterday now that I look at that, right? So again, this was a big candle today on the daily and actually on the weekly. I wish, again, it did a little bit more. Like it would have been cooler if it, obviously it would have been cooler. But yeah, it would have been cooler if it got over here. But hey, at least we held the line. I'll take that. Right? So again, 23 is still my entry. Truth be told, there's so much of a reason to just wait for the 50 average to break. Wait for like 31, 32 cents and then ride that thing all the way up to 50 something. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's about it on TTOO here. Talked about the daily, talked about the weekly. Yeah, let me know if there's anything else I missed. Otherwise, I think that's good for this. I want to talk about 2 more stocks, actually, and I didn't expect to have this much time. I want to talk about IDEX a little bit, okay? IDEX came up today on the Discord, and this is an interesting chart to look at for you can see clear reasons, all right? Red. Could be a nice green, all the way up to the 50 moving average, sitting at 540 almost, right? Break the 8, go to the 20, break the 20, go to the 50. We've struggled to break the 8. We are able to actually break the 20 and actually confirm, all right? Listen, if we were in a different market situation, I would have brought in an 18-wheeler. I would have held a lot of money in this over the weekend, and I would have woken up on Monday to see what happened. We definitely are over this candle as well. There is nothing from where we sit except red, 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 all the way up to here. Look, there's literally nothing till here, right? This 320 might be something, but hey, even going from 240 to just under 340 is a big, big move, even if we only stop right here. But look, again, I'm going to draw this line and quickly remove it, right? Because obviously it's there. And look, it's kind of the horizontal there, right? But red, 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 green, 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 whole mess of nothing, red, 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 red. Man, if we can get to here, that'll be fast. And again, from here to here is absolutely nothing. Red, 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 red. Could be a green, green. Like, there is RSI is at such a healthy 57. MACD is a little negative, but that's looking divergency to me, right? Again, divergence. Divergence is nothing more than a fancy word for the lines are going away from each other. And we like divergence when the green one's going away from the red, right? So we're getting close to the dash. I'm telling you, both days, I wish it wasn't a little bit of a down. But yeah, they're both basically flat. Both are over, like, this is not bad, this is not bad, this is not bad, this is not bad. I would have made a move on most market conditions. I'm a little gun shy right now. Like, the really cool thing to say is I'm not afraid, all right? It's to say things like, you know, I eat the fear, or while others are scared, I know it, you know, like, dude, there's a lot of reason to just sit back and watch and wait, all right? Dude and dudette. I say that to the girls and the guys as well, right? But this is an interesting chart. This is well worth looking on Monday. Man, I'm telling you, if this was only even a couple months ago, yeah, this would have been a no-brainer. But right now, it's hard. It is hard for juicy setups, even one like this, to actually go. All right. And, you know, well worth looking, just risk tolerance, right? It is what it is. So where are we on the weekly? Look, we're still not looking good on the weekly at all. This, in a lot of ways, is kind of saying, hey, this 320 number is a real possibility, right? Again, I don't know the math, but this line is coming down, and come Monday, it looks like it's probably going to come around here, if not even lower, right? But there's a shot that we can go up to the 8 moving average based on the weekly. I think there's a shot that we can come up to here based on the resistance of this line right here on the big candle. There's also a lot of red, 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 green, 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 right? So IDEX, this is well worth looking. Again, a 1 to 125 split just happened. Is this something I think is worth holding and stuff? No, not really. And again, was a while since we've talked about it, but that 100 moving average has been no joke, right? So there's a little back of my head thing that's like, you know, we're not going to get anywhere over that, right? So just things to consider, right? But IDEX, I think this is well worth looking. Coming up, we already looked at the weekly, we already looked at the daily. Cool. Yeah, I think this is a good 1, 2, 3. Hey, let me know your thoughts and opinions. Otherwise, as always, you know it. Thank you.